Hello everyone, hope you're doing alright. Welcome to the drive tune. We are heading across to Carlisle and then straight tune on the M6 all the way down into Liverpool for tonight's game against Everton. So, tough one in it, Goodison. I'm going to quote Forrest Gump here. You never know what you're going to get. Life's like laughs like a box of chocolates. Because our record at Goodison, it's very much up in the air. It's 50-50. Sometimes we'll win, sometimes we'll lose. It's just one of those grounds, and this is the last time that will ever be at Goodison Park, because obviously they've got the new stadium and you don't know which division Everton are going to be in, because they're always doing the bottom every season, aren't they? Obviously there's a lot of stuff that happens off the field. We had the points deduction last season, and obviously troubles this season, not starting off well and going 2-0 up in a few games and losing them and what have you. But look, I think it'll still be tough, don't get me wrong. Physicality, that's what you think of Everton, especially Sean Dyche, who had lovely words about Eddie Howe in his presser. And obviously, speaking of the press conference, I'm just going to quote a couple of stuff about Eddie Howe and then what he said about the stadium, really. So, injuries from midweek, nothing to pick up. There was a couple of niggles midweek. We're seeing Fabian Schär and Martin Dubravka, but they're going to be perfectly fine. Nothing on Matty Targett, though, which I was a bit surprised about. He wasn't asked about. So, he had a flare with his ex-man, and to be honest, it's the first I've heard of a player missing a couple of games because of it, but Woody wouldn't have featured anyway, to be honest with you. Probably would have against Wimbledon, but definitely not Man City, definitely not the Nice. But obviously on the striker situation, Alexander Isak also misses out once more. He's not been selected for Sweden. Callum Wilson's also due back as well after this game. So Eddie Howe was asked a question about the two. Isak obviously has got that toe injury, so he'll be back in a couple of weeks' time, and Callum Wilson's due back as well. So that's great options, because as much as people criticise Callum Wilson because he can't stay fit, the simple matter of the factor is he scores goals. And I actually think he brings out the best in Alexander Isak, and vice versa. You've seen it towards the end of the season, in the Champions League season. Both of them, every time they were playing, they were scoring, because they know that they've got to fight for the place to play up top. But Lewis Smiley's obviously due back as well in a couple of weeks, which is good as well. So we've got some injuries coming back. Obviously, when Abu Botman and ourselves still a little way out. Joe Linton's close to suspension though. He's currently on 4 bookings already. So if he picks up a booking against Everton, he's going to have 3 weeks off, basically. But hopefully he doesn't. When I with Bruno last season, he avoided picking up another yellow to avoid him missing 2 games, because he was sitting on 11 for so long, wasn't he? So he's done well, but that's the news. And obviously I've been asked about the contract situations with Anthony Gordon. Obviously that's progressing well. And Eddie Howe was also asked about Newcastle going to extend Alexander Isak's, which the club definitely want to do. He doesn't know much about that. And Sean Longstaff, who was a free agent in the summer, you don't really want to lose one of your homegrown players, because it's net profit, that horrible word, in it. Academy players, it goes massively towards the FFP if you can sell an academy player. We've seen it over the summer, a few clubs doing that. You've seen it with Newcastle. We had it with Elliot Anderson, we're one of them. So we'll see. The dog's opened one of the windows, you little bugger. The stadium stuff, Eddie Howe was asked. Obviously, there was a lot of talk about the stadium relocating or building it once more. Obviously, Brad Miller had the fan advisory board meeting with them. Newcastle obviously looking at it serious how to either expand St James's Park, and if they can't, they may look at moving into a new stadium. That's into stage 2, and the decision will be made, and it's a massive decision for every single person, player, director, supporter, because it affects us long term. I mean, St James's Park's been sitting there for 140 years, and going to a new stadium, I didn't want to be honest with you. I didn't. I'm one of them. Nah, I do not want to go to a new stadium. I didn't. It's the Eddie Howe's also, even Eddie Howe said today that he loves the fact St James's Park is in the city centre. You see it from the skyline. He loves the atmosphere inside the ground. He loves the way the stadium feels and looks. And that's Eddie Howe, manager, saying that. Obviously, he was also asked, obviously, new extra revenue to go to a new stadium. And I get that. I do trust us. But, you pay, for a season ticket? 1,000, give or take nearly 1,000 a year, is it? And you get an extra 20,000. That's not a great amount of money in there. It isn't. You get a lot of more money from TV revenue and also commercial. I mean, you look at Chelsea. Chelsea have got a capacity of about 43,000. You can't do it. Manchester City don't have the greatest They've gradually improved their attendance. So you don't have to have an 80,000 seat stadium to win things. No, look at Juventus in Italy. You don't have to. It helps, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't hugely help. I don't feel in terms of revenue. I think it helps with the demand of tickets. And I think that's where Eddie Howe was also referring back to, that if you went to a new stadium, you would obviously fill that with an extra 20,000 because people are clamouring to get in the ground. But, you know, you've only got to think yourselves, well, 3 years ago, well, not 3 years ago, because that's when the takeover happened, about 4.5 years ago, the club decided to give away 10,000 free season tickets, if you remember. Was that 4.5 years ago? So, I can't show you, if the PIF ever leave Newcastle and the next one that comes in, we didn't like him, we've got empty seats. And again, Eddie Howe kind of referred to, you don't like seeing big stadiums being empty, but he said that Newcastle fans would fill it. And we would, because you can have 100,000. I think you would sell it on most games as a sellout. But he was asked that, and obviously, as I mentioned, Brad had a chat with obviously the fan advisory board about in the meeting, and obviously that's been shared on the club's website, which was nice. So but going in back on the topic, then let me know. Actually, just let me know how you feel about the stadium, and also can you put in underneath, are you a season ticket holder or are you not, and what your opinions are about St James's Park. Because for me, even if I wasn't, you've got to keep it there. You've got to look at ways to expand it behind the East Stand in particular. I think there is ways to do it, and obviously that's why the feasible study is being done. But going back on the many changes from Wednesday, definitely, I think there will be. And as I say, Everton, it's a tough one, isn't it? Right, what's this? You're going to give me you have to give me the space. I've got the right way. So, in terms of what was that? What I've been put off there. In terms of the need, you don't want to go into the international break with a bad result because you've got 2 weeks. So if Newcastle can win at Goodison, keep the chase in for Europe. What's this knacker? They'll just park in the middle of the road. What are you doing? Right, you've just parked in the middle of the road and you're blocking us. Honestly, man. And yeah, I think if Newcastle can get a positive result, that'll be put in good stead. A draw's not the worst in the world, but realistically, if you want European football, Everton are going to be doing there. You should be beating the likes of Everton if you are contending to be in the top 4 or 5. Do you know what I mean? But as I say, I think it'll be the side that probably went out against Manchester City. That's what I think Eddie Howe will go on with. And it'll be interesting to see what the press is like, if he's going to keep the intensity up. Obviously, the reception that Anthony Gordon's going to get. Obviously, he's got to get booed something rotten. Because there's no secret that he's more or less a Liverpool fan, to be honest. And we'll see. Me and Johnny there. I think Johnny's going to do a max reaction, and obviously I'll have the vlog and the last words. The last word will be probably tomorrow. I'll put it out in the morning because it takes about 2 hours to edit per video. Plus, I'm driving back. Well, it looks like straight away the night. I was going to stay over, still 50-50 at the minute. But there we go. That's it from me, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.